The Empire of Brymore spanned from coast to coast of the Dragonside continent, conquered and reigned over by the Wizard King Zerindast the Great. But it was near the end of his long 200-year reign that he grew to think that none of his 10 sons could hold his hard-won empire together after his passing. Instead, he would find a strong heir on his own terms, and to do so, he created the Royal Labyrinth of Worthy Succession, a grand and deadly dungeon. Many adventurers, both heroic and villainous alike, tried to best it, and all fell short. Now, it has been 500 years since its completion, and the throne of Brymore remains empty, but the Mad King's challenge remains. Let the one who exits this fell keep with the scepter of royal might be declared true and rightful ruler of Brymore and all its vassal kingdoms. Still, no one has been able to conquer it, yet.
Should I do the thing, or is this like a whole new thing?
I mean, if you want to do the roll call, sure.
Well, I mean, it's your thing. Should we do the roll call, or?
Yeah, do the roll call.
That was one yay, one nay.
No,
I don't.
It feels traditional to me to do the roll call. I feel lost without it.
Mm.
It is a very solid opener, and it beats Josh's random word scream.
Yeah. Frakes.
Yeah, random word scream.
Jeff.
Yes, that's what I was waiting for.
Mahogany.
Blah.
I'm Toker, and here's our lore master, Terrence.
Prepared word scream. Bananas.
I think he's used
bananas.
I think he's used bananas.
I think so.
No. Bananas are delicious and they're good for you, so I hear. Mainly from monkeys.
I feel like monkeys would probably tell you that bananas are terrible for you and you shouldn't like them and should give them the bananas to dispose of for you.
You know.
That's when we know they've hit their next evolutional step is when a monkey says, "Hey, bananas are awful. You should."
When they're trying to scam bananas.
Yeah.
I have seen videos of monkeys eating bananas, and I think what they would say is just bargle, bargle.
Well, I need to correspond with more monkeys. I feel like I need to get in touch with my roots.
Is that before or after they throw their poop?
That's why I want to correspond, not converse. Like maybe we can exchange emails.
I want a nice poop throwing distance between us.
Great ape pen pals.
Yeah.
This doesn't smell like ink.
That was Jane Goodall's problem, really. She was trying to, talk to the apes, and they don't like talking. You just send them an email; they're fine.
Oh, let's quit with an email.
Anyway, folks, welcome to our new campaign where it's me doing a thing I really didn't want to do called Pathfinder 2, but fuck it, I'm gonna roll with it because I'm a team player.
I think you're gonna enjoy it.
All right. Anyway, our new campaign is a dungeon crawler, and with a sort of a JRPG anime flair. We are calling this one. Let me see if I can remember the name. Oh yeah, That Time I Raided the Unconquerable Mega Dungeon. That's right. That is the name. Or TTIRTUM for short.
Ttirtumd.
Ttirtumd, yes.
Ttirtumd.
Ttirtumd? No, Ttirtumd. There you go.
Ttirtumd.
Yes.
Wait, is there no R there?
Read it. Yeah.
Ttirtumd. Yes.
Ttirtumd. That's got to be like a dragon's name. I am Ttirtumd, slayer of all mortal men.
Actually, a pretty cool name, Ttirtumd.
I like it.
We've said it that many times.
Hopefully, it's not a Candyman situation, or maybe it is.
Hey, you know what? If it is a dragon,
here, a dungeon open house behind you.
Dope. Let's go. Beats this shit.
This isn't an isekai though, so sorry.
Yeah, no special gifts, no extra skills.
Nope, you just get the stuff you get. What?
I thought this was an isekai.
It is not. We decided
Now
not.
I'm pissed.
You never know. We might have been isekai from a magical world, and now we're doing this instead.
Yeah. Maybe you guys weren't isekai, but I was.
Oh, is that your background?
Chuck Coon.
Chuck Coon
No.
killed you in another world.
This is my virtual avatar of my other character.
We did that storyline already. It was called Starfighter, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, it was actually the original Raiders of the Lark was the
Virtual
digital
one.
avatars.
Mm-hmm.
And so was the Starfinder. Well, that became digital for me.
Oh, did it?
Yes, it's
For
all
Jeff.
digital.
He eats a lot of shrooms before we roll dice.
It's like, didn't Grave also happen digitally?
Yes, Grave was a game within a game within a game within a game. So
All Inception.
let me get everyone up to speed with the setup. All right. There you go. I'm gonna try and big boy voice this one. The Empire of Brymore spanned from coast to coast of the Dragonside continent, conquered and reigned over by the Wizard King Zurindast the Great. But it was near the end of his long 200-year reign that he grew to think that none of his 10 sons could hold his hard-won empire together after his passing. Instead, he would find a strong heir on his own terms, and to do so, he created the Royal Labyrinth of Worthy Succession, a grand and deadly dungeon. Many adventurers, both heroic and villainous alike, tried to best it, and all fell short. Now, it has been 500 years since its completion, and the throne of Brymore remains empty, but the Mad King's challenge remains. Let the one who exits this fell keep with the scepter of royal might be declared true and rightful ruler of Brymore and all its vassal kingdoms. Still, no one has been able to conquer it. Yet.
I'm in. Send me a copy so I can post it on all of our socials, minus the Nazi one.
Yeah.
Okay. Our adventure begins. Oh, sorry.
Our adventure ends. Thank you, everyone.
Our adventure begins. You all slip, fall, and die. The end. And wake up isekai in a brand new world.
Oh, God damn it.
Anyway, our story begins at the foothills, or rather, not the foothills, but at the bottom of Shatter Sword Peak, one of the highest mountains of the Ogre's Teeth Range. Here, you've been brought by steam train through the narrow mountain passes. It's been a long time coming. Sitting, waiting, trying to keep warm, as it is very, very early spring. Those of you who have traveled this far, this way, have come as basically, you've come as basically signing on as as protection for a bunch of laborers. The Regency Council of Brymore has decided to put in a telegraph line and has brought a lot of people to do this pretty big construction job, hopefully before the spring season begins in full. And so you've traveled by train with a bunch of, laborers, a few engineers, and a lot of wooden poles on several of the cars. As the train pulls up to the station and people start to disembark, you see that there's a labor camp that has already been hastily constructed outside the gates of the train station. And there's really not much else here other than directions via wooden signs to the road that says Tribulation Keep 4 miles. And you see a few distant laborers scraping snow off a narrow path that winds around and around the mountain. Let's see, who wants to go first?
I will. Fuck it.
All right.
Let's get this voice out of the way. I guess.
Then- Tell us about your character real quick.
Yeah. So, stepping off the train probably has been conversing with the engineers that are on the train too much. Is a shooty, which in Pathfinder Heritage Ancestries or whatever is a dog person. I'm a small schnauzer type humanoid dog. He's dressed lightly for this weather, like he seems comfortable in the cold. He's got like a leather jacket on, but it's mostly like patched together with like twine and wire and weird cogs, and he's got a bunch of pockets that look like they used to hold a lot of things but are very light as of late. On his right hip he carries an oversized cylinder tubular device. It's kind of looks like a gun, but not really. It's got all these weird cogs and these little blue vials on it that are capped with brass pieces that look like they can spin in place to do something. You're not entirely sure. And he comes out and he's very chipper, and he's just like, "Oh, we finally made it, fellas," to nobody in particular.
One of the engineers gives you a half-hearted wave as he gathers his bags, and someone out in the field already, as the other laborers are coming up, starts barking orders, and you hear a voice call out to you, "You, shooting!
Yes.
Come here!"
Most people whistle first, and then I'll meander my way over.
You get to a heavily bound up human guy wearing a lot of cloaks, a scarf, hat. You basically only see his eyes and hear his muffled voice as he squints at a clipboard with a few pieces of paper on it. He's like, "What's your name?"
I hold my hand out and go, "I'm Belgrip Uman, shooty, inventor. Pleasure to meet you."
Uman, Belgrup. Yeah, okay, I have you here. I'm going to keep looking around for the other people that signed up for this duty.
Slowly lower my hand that he never took.
He's just paying attention to his work. He's like, "There is a cabin over there you can wait in if you want to maintain your warmth." He looks down at you. Are you wearing shoes?
Probably, but not probably sandalish.
Okay.
He's very comfortable in this cold climate.
All right. He nods and points that way.
No, I've been stuck on the train for so long, I might hang out here for a little bit, but thank you.
Uh-huh. Just make sure I can find you.
Okay.
And then he just sits right next to him.
Just don't go anywhere.
Who's next coming off the train?
Borello will step off the train. What you see is a very burly green, like an olive green orc. He's got a horse blanket that he's cut a hole out of, and he's draped it over his shoulders, and he's got a belt around his waist to hold it in place, and straw thatch thongs on his feet. And he steps off and takes a deep breath of the cold mountain air.
It is very cold indeed. Very alpine.
Well, that's not like how at all.
You see the labor camp suddenly coming to life around you as people stream out and begin heading away, talking to different foremans. But you see one that's pretty close, talking to the Shuni you've, if not seen, definitely heard on the trip, as he seems to have talked quite a bit.
I could see Belgrip just making his way down the aisle. "Hi, how are you? Hello, how are you?"
Shaking a lot of hands.
The heavily bound man with the scarf and the eyes peeking out from under a heavy hat looks up and says, "Burello!"
I'll make my way over. G'day, mate. It's Borello. But yeah,
Right.
that's me. How are you?
Yeah, I have you down on the roster for protective work.
Sounds about right.
You know that you found out, as most of you did, that the only way to get up here to Shatter Sword Peak this early in the season is to volunteer to do something like this. There's little pay, and the slots were very few. The man turns and says, "Okay, it's a bit more like it." He cuts his eyes down at the little dog man beside him. I don't know
We,
who this.
we on the same team here, mate?
Well, if you're part of the mercenaries, yeah. Like I said to him, there's a cabin over there if you need to warm yourself. I think they also have hot beverages.
Oh, well, now you didn't mention the beverages.
I get up and I start heading towards the cabin.
He nods.
I'll meet you in there.
As you head that way, you can hear him scratching his head. He's like, God damn it, there's so few of them. Veal, he calls. Another man comes out, carrying a lot of equipment. A human fellow comes over to him, and he's like, "Aren't you a little old to be a mercenary?" Oh, I like to travel. I get around. I see the world. You're carrying a lot of stuff. Well, yeah, protective work requires supplies. I'm more of a facilitator of a adventurer's needs. He's like, "You're not coming up here as a merchant, are you?" The man says, "No, of course not. These items, I just like to bring a little extra with me in case my fellow adventurers get in trouble." He's like, "Fine. Shed over there. That's where the other mercs are. Thank you." And he heads that way too. The man grumbles angrily to himself and lifts his head. Who's next?
Go ahead.
All right. Describe your character as the man stops what he's doing and pointing at you.
Oh, I thought Mahogany was going to go.
Oh, I thought you said you were.
No, I said go ahead.
Oh, okay. So getting off the train, you see a rather tall, dark-skinned woman, just bundled all the way up. You can really only see like her face and her nose. And she steps off the train. She's shivering and she's like, "I hate the cold." She comes marching up to the little man, the little bundled up man, and says, "Where should I go?"
The man says, he flips her as Drowson.
Obviously.
The other mercs are going to be in that cabin waiting for their orders.
And she's already started walking towards the cabin.
All right.
Just rushing to get inside. When you look at Rouse, her name is Rouse Drowson. When you look at Rouse, it's like reminiscent of maybe Grace Jones in Conan the Barbarian. Very just like severe looking. Severe looking resting face. And
Cattail?
That was a raccoon tail, sir.
No. Like when she comes inside and she takes off all of her layers, she's dressed very ornately, but covered mostly from head to toe. And she's obviously like, trying to figure out where she belongs. Like she's just the kind of person that's like weirdly staring at people and doesn't really know how to act. So she's probably she probably goes and grabs a beverage and stands awkwardly in the corner, just like staring, eyes kind of like just starting around the room, looking at everyone. And you see, also see, she has a rather large, or a decent sized bow slung over.
Oh, the weapon. I was
slung over her shoulder. Yeah.
I was thinking the decoration for some reason.
No, and she placed it gently down along with her other belongings, as far away from doors and windows as possible, because cold outside.
All right. And lastly, the man calls out, "Lord Brime!"
Wargram steps out.
Okay.
Big as 6.5 foot tall humanoid being, basically a blue Samsarin with a bone mask, and he's wearing hide armor. Which is good because the weather's kind of cold.
Yeah.
And has this huge bastard sword strapped across his back. And he's got other little packs strapped all around him and stuff like that. But he strolls up and is like, "Hey, I'm here, Wargrim."
Well, the man looks at you and says, "Oh, finally, a mercenary that looks like one." And I told your fellow mercs to meet me over there at that cabin. You could probably find something to eat or drink. I might have a straw if you don't want to take that off, but
Sounds good. When we getting out of here?
he said, well, we're gonna let the camp get settled in for the night, and then I want you mercs on the mountain by morning before the excavation teams set off.
What
So
time
get your
is that
rest.
roughly?
Hmm?
What time do they plan on leaving so that we can make sure we're ready?
They'll probably start working at the crack of light. I'd like you to leave a little bit before.
Sounds good. No, I'll leave.
All right. When you get inside the cabin, you see that the place is not heavily occupied. This cabin is basically set aside for. It looks like just the engineers have gathered in here and are discussing the project at one table. And then you see near the fire, there's a tallish woman warming herself, having a beverage. What are you guys doing in there, Borello and Belgrup?
Morello is sat on the floor in the full lotus, trying to assume the posture of meditation, but he's clearly not meditating because he's trying to strike up a conversation with the Shuni.
And the Shuni?
I'm sorry to say what?
And the Shuni?
I'm just, good day, mate. How are you? What's your name?
Oh, well, hell, I'm Belgrip Ubin.
Wow, what brings you all the way up here?
Empty pockets. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Yeah, I actually do understand that. And
a lot of lore and stuff to learn inside this dungeon, right? Would you say that you're a crafter of sorts?
No. I'm more of a hands-on kind of fella. I like to fold people's clothes while they're still in it.
Oh, I mean, I was going to say that I was hands-on too, but not like that. No.
I'm on a journey of self-discovery, mate. I'm out here trying to increase my personal power and learn, push myself to the limit. You know what I mean? And grow in my own skills.
So, did the guy Veal with all the stuff come in here too?
Yeah. He basically came over, clattered all his junk down near the fire, and then went and got a hot beverage and a hot soup. But they come in the same cups, so it's difficult to tell which one he's actually supping on when he sits down.
You probably noticed me instead of making eye contact and listening to your story of self-discovery or whatever. Really just eyeballing the dude with all the stuff.
Veal is warmly dressed, but he's clearly far too old to be a mercenary. He's like sort of kind of medium stature guy, not super muscular. He's got like a long bushy mustache and like stubble gray all over. And he has sort of like those long hoot owl eyebrows that old people get. And he smiles as he takes a sip of his drink. Says, "Oh yes, my fellow mercenaries, I'm taking it."
Sure.
Yeah, mate. Oh shit! Looking at your bag just made me remember. I left my pack on the train. I'll be right back.
Oh, they're all being unpacked by the porters, I imagine. I assume you still have your tag.
Oh yeah. I believe so. I'll start.
Good.
I'll unzip my fanny pack. I assume that they make belt pouches
Yeah, any belt pouch is a fanny pack, depending on where you move it on the belt.
If this was an anime, the screen would have zoomed in with dramatic music and explosions as you unzipped your fanny pack.
Yeah. Zip. Oh, yeah, here it is. Oh, man. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached.
Good. I happen to have several tags myself I need to claim. Adventuring gear. He gives you a wink and goes back to his soup. How about the other two? You guys overhear this pretty easily. Like it's pretty clear where the mercenaries are sitting.
I'll move over and grab some soup.
Okay.
Rouse will probably get her second cup of hot beverage and some soup and just walk up to the group and be like, "Hi, I'm Rouse."
Hi, good day. What brings you up to the mountain, if you don't mind me asking? If you do, I apologize for my prying.
Just like slow blinking the bus.
the train.
Yeah, the train.
Ah, literal. I like it.
The other fellow next to her is a 6 foot tall, 6'6" giant with a creepy bone mask on. Clearly a mercenary type.
Digging the mask, there, mate. Digging the mask.
Thank you.
Is there a story behind it, or is it just a personal aesthetics kind of thing?
Yes, there's a story.
Which will be revealed at a later time. Veal and the rest of you sit and wait for a minute, and finally the guy who checked you off as you came out of the train stumbles in. He scrapes all the snow and mud off his boots on the boot scraper and like begins taking off layer after layer of clothes, and you find that he's just underneath it all. He's a very thin guy with that and when he pulls on like a more of a normal thing, it still hangs off him in like it's his dad's shirt.
Wait, did he just Mr. Rogers? He came in, took off a sweater, and then put on a sweater?
Yeah, I put on something lighter but warm. And then he pulls out a pair of spectacles and walks over to you guys. All right. Hello, I'm Mr. Cricket. I'll be, I suppose, your mercenary captain for this excursion.
All right.
I was hoping we'd get more takers. We had several sign up, but they didn't show up for their train rides. Let's see. Even after claiming all their baggage tags, too. I'm afraid you're going to have to be it. Normally, I'd like to take 2 teams out on this sort of kind of thing. But given where we are, it won't be long till you'd have reinforcements anyway, and they might want more payment than you folks accepted. So I'd rather make use of you while I can.
So we're getting a raise.
No.
Yes.
Well, this is the government contract, so I am only allowed to give you so much.
So we're leaving.
Perhaps, if that's what you like, but he pushes his glasses back and says, "It's a long walk back. Your train ticket was not provided for return."
I can pay for a train ride back. That's neither here nor there. I just heard you say that you have allocated funds that you haven't spent all of, and we're having to do extra work for the same reason that you have extra allocated funds. It only seems rational that we should get a pay rise for our extra work.
Well, you've agreed to work for a flat 5 gold for this. And I was assuming that it was under the pretense that you would get to the mountain earlier, since you are clearly mercenary, adventurous types. And then his eyes turn look over to Veal. Most of you.
I'm normally the one that gets that look at those pauses.
Madam,
could you refresh my memory? What was the task again?
the task is to make sure there aren't any dangerous monsters along the path of the mountain trail leading up to Delver's Gate.
Right. Sorry, it's been a long train ride.
No, I understand. Very boring, very tedious, and now very frustrating, he says, going back to his notes. I may be able to allocate a little bit more money, provided there is evidence that this is not too much of an easy job for you. Hmm? How about that? I give you a little extra reward if you come back with a little extra, or with with proof that you've actually done anything.
Money for blood.
Precisely.
What,
It's a system you will get used to. Trust me.
and what kind of creatures usually inhabit the walk up to the mountain that we might need to be on the lookout for?
Well, I think it might be a little too early for bandits along the road, maybe. However, all kinds of people come up here during the course of the summer months, and they like to leave a lot of refuse around. Like, I think one year, as far as from what I've heard, a whole pack of wolves began circulating around the mountain, just killing anything and everything. Turns out they were undead and left
Ooh.
behind by some necromancer that probably died in the keep.
Wolves are tough. Wolves are a tough breed to fight, especially undead ones.
Mm. But
So there's really no telling what.
no, not really.
face.
Could be anything along the road, and could be nothing. But mainly, I need you to start. Your specific job will be mapping snowfalls, obstructions in the road, that sort of thing. He goes over to a corner and opens a box and pulls it out, and pulls out even smaller box and sits it down. And you see that there is a carrier pigeon within it. And once you get to the top, I'll need you to send your report down. Hopefully, you get there before nightfall, as we would like to get as high as get things going as best we can.
So it'd only take a day to get from here to Delver's Gate?
Only if you dawdle and don't have a problem and aren't waylaid too often. But it's a 4-mile uphill journey. So that will cut the time, or that will increase the time given the elevation.
Miles uphill. That's nice. That's a good warm up.
If you say so.
Well, and you, I might have overheard, I might not have. You were telling Mr. Bone Mask here that you want us to set out pre-dawn.
If you don't mind, at least before the crews start heading up that way. I don't want them surprised by something on their first corner.
What time of the day is it now?
It's pretty well in the evening by the time you guys arrive. So the sun is going down, and the camp is also settling in for the evening and before their first day of work.
Are they going to bring our luggage to us, our bags, or do we need to go collect them from somewhere?
They've mostly been offloaded. You could probably find them amongst the luggage that's still there.
All right.
He says, "Now I'll take my leave. It's been a tiring ride. Your tents," and he gives you like the alphanumeric for which tents you guys have. Which tent you guys have? The tent for mercenaries is near the rear of the camp. So keep an ear out for anything on the edge of the camp too. Thank you.
Oh, so we're not sleeping in here?
No, this is for meetings and meals.
All right.
Oh, but I'm very small and could maybe just curl up under that warm table over there.
Meetings, meals.
Okay.
I head out.
All right.
I'll grab my soup. Grab a cup of hot soup as I go out to grab my bag.
All right. As you go out, as you grab your soup and grab your bag, you hear a hustling sound and a huffing from Mr. Veal as he's approaching you. Barallo, was it?
That's right, mate.
Yeah, I may need a bit of help if you don't mind. Just a hand from a fellow mercenary.
With what?
He reaches into his vest and he pulls out like 6 luggage tags. He's like, "Well, some of the other mercenaries were convinced not to come, and or come later in the season, and I was able to purchase their luggage tags off them. So, but I would like some help getting them back to the tent, perhaps.
What's the check for determining if someone's pulling the wool over my eyes?
I think that's what insight, right?
Is it perception versus deception?
I think it might be.
Wait, yeah, I might have the wrong system in my head.
Yeah, 5E's insight.
Yeah,
It's perception versus.
yeah, I think it's perception. Yeah,
because I just want to make sure this dude didn't murder the other mercenaries. That's 22.
You look him over, listen to his story, and you get the impression that he isn't what he seems, but but he's also not like violent. He scammed the government somehow in order to get more of his own materials. He's clearly a merchant.
So he probably signed up false mercenaries to bring his bags on board.
Yeah, so he could have more luggage slots on the train. If you don't mind, I'll gladly tip.
No, it's fine. We don't help each other out. Who's going to help us out? Right?
That's right. I like your community spirit. And you guys go over to the luggage bags, and you see him like picking through various names, through various lines, and grabbing different ones or pointing them out to you. And he carries 3 and leaves you, counting the one on him, he leaves you with the 4 extra.
If they're just bags, I can probably carry.
Yeah, they're like big duffels, but they're clearly packed to the gills with materials. Fairly heavy, but not like uncarryable.
I'm a strong, strapping fella.
And when you guys arrive back at the tent, everyone else is pretty much there by now, I assume, unless you stayed behind to argue more with Mr. Cricket.
No, I was thinking about tagging along with them with the bags just because out of curiosity. But
I think Rouse would have probably stayed behind and secured at least 2 more gold for each of us before she grabbed her stuff and headed back that way. Because
let's do a check to see if you can grab that. All right, let's see. Give me which what do you want to use? Intimidation, diplomacy?
I mean,
I prefer to roll initiative and just beat the shit.
Yeah, like I'm equally bad at them, so whatever.
All right.
What's your society? What's your society?
I'm equally bad at them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. If it ain't like maybe thievery, I don't know.
Like you've clearly like worn the guy down some, but let's see if you can seal the deal. Give me a diplomacy.
Diplomacy, equally bad at him. Here we go. Oh, that's a 15.
All right. Just to get you out of his hair so he can go to bed, he says, fine, 2 golds each, 7 gold at the end of the contract.
Acceptable. She'll scoop another scoop of soup.
Okay.
Bundle back up. And she's brought all her stuff anyway. Like she doesn't trust her things around strangers. So
all right.
Scoop up all her bags and march.
You march out into the frigid weather once again and back to the tent. The tents, which were hastily set up probably the day before and still have a lot of snow on them from the night before. But this is a kind of a large pavilion tent with sleeping mats and things like that. And there is looks to be like a sort of it's not like a fully enclosed one. It like has open ground, so it has like a makeshift cast iron heater in it with like enough wood to get you through the night. It's not super warm, but
we won't freeze to death. So I come in and I drop all those bags. Yeah. My name's Borello. It's a pleasure to meet all of you since we're going to be working together. How about we go around the horn? I've already met Belgrup. What's your name? Bone Mask Tallface?
Wargrim.
Nice to meet you. And you, madam?
I'm quite certain I've already said this, but I'll say it one more time.
Not
My
to
name's
me,
Rouse. I did. I walked up to you guys and I said, hi, I'm Rouse.
Oh, you did? Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
But
I'm sorry. Half-orc brain doesn't retain information that well, but I'll do my best to remember. Rouse. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
All right.
But Barnabas Veal. The man smiles.
All right, Bonnie. I'm gonna go ahead and pop my squat again and settle in for sleep.
You see Barnabas go checking over his bags, making sure everything's there. He unfastens a few and looks around. No breakage. That's good.
What are you,
Wonderful.
some kind of merchant?
Well, not according to my hiring slip, but he stands up and straightens his thing. Yes. The thing is, a lot of merchants come up here for the summer to do business with the adventurers that come through the area. And last time I tried, there were no physical slots left within the town. They only have so many rental properties for out-of-town businessmen. And so this year I got smart and thought I'd go get here a little early. That way, no one's going to kick me to the curb. He says, also,
You offer deep discounts to people who know your secrets.
he smiles and says, well, we haven't set up shop yet. However, I can offer you some supplementary pay. I'm not that strong of a fighter, to be honest with you.
You don't say.
I'm a man who is 60 years young and has not really picked up a sword since his militia days.
I don't use one of those things anyway.
He walks over to his sword, shakes it around, pulls it out, and you see that it is just like a very thin sword. He's like, decorative, clink. I only know what few magics that a merchant needs to get by, basic mending magics and things like that.
That'll be useful.
Well, it certainly is useful to keep your socks warm and dry, but as far as tackling undead wolves, not so much.
But you can repair shields and whatnot.
Yes, I suppose. Yes, I could do that.
Oh, that's actually something I'm pretty good at. Tell me, what formula do you use when you're trying to smooth brass on
And then he goes off into like a weird kind of like deep engineering style of like how crafting works.
He stops you after you letting you entertain yourself and says, in truth, I'm not much of a craftsman. As I said, I'm a merchant. I'm an importer of goods, a seller of goods, and buyer of rare goods. A lot of this materials I've brought with me are books mainly.
Oh.
He unzips one of the bags, and you see it is indeed filled with books and scrolls. Like, I've been compiling a list over the years. It's taken me about 20 years of all the legendary, or at least all that I could find, legendary objects and art items, of jewelry pieces of renown and things that have gone to this dungeon with adventurers and never emerged again. And so, if you bring something interesting by my way, once I've set up my shop, there is a chance you might be able to get a little extra for it, provided it's in my notes and on my buy list.
Acceptable.
But for keeping my secret as we go up to the mountaintop, I would like to offer you at least 3 extra gold for a piece for your efforts.
4.
I'm looking at my 3 total silver, and I'm just like, yeah, 10 gold. And this is going to be fucking great.
I really haven't budgeted for that, my dear. But like I said,
we'll look at you and go, bargained well and done.
He smiles. Well, it's good. Just, I doubt it's going to be that much trouble. Things have been pretty quiet around the keep, according to my sources. It's the telegraph line that has me worried. He turns his head toward the outside of the tent. Once they set that up, news about famous finds, news about the comings and goings of adventurers, how far they plumb into the dungeon, is going to be much easier to pass along to the outside world. generally, that's usually done by post, which takes a lot longer. And so opportunities are going to come up fast and then disappear just as fast nowadays.
So 4.
I believe we agreed on 3. Anyway, I'm turning it. And he goes to bed. How about y'all?
Borello's already sitting cross-legged, head in his chest. He's sleeping.
Yeah.
He's sleeping sitting up.
Belgrip goes to talk and realizes it's just Rouse and Wargrim left, and they don't seem very chatty.
Yeah, both.
He turns around.
Just staring.
He turns around with like an idea of something to talk about. They just quietly goes back to sipping what's left of that hot soup that he got from the free meal, and cut his eyes towards all those bags full of books, but not books for like formula or inventing things. Books of like artifacts. So he's not super interested.
Histories and whatnot, yes.
Yes, we have an early morning, so Rouse will find herself a nice spot and go to sleep.
All right. Wargrim, are you staying up all night?
I'll pull up my bedroll and then get
Okay.
in.
All right. I don't know what Samsarans are. They don't have any like special.
I sleep and dream about my past.
Okay. It feels like almost no time at all before there is a polite, not knock, kind of a slapping sound from your tent flap as you hear Mr. Cricket outside, bundled up once again to an amazing thickness. Are you ready? Everyone up?
Immediately up, stand up, grab my bag, grab one of Veal's bags.
He says, no need to overburden yourself with too much. If you want, you can just put your stuff on one of the carts heading up to Delver's Gate. Like they're just waiting. They'll just be waiting for you to clear the way.
Nah, fair enough.
You see Veal smile. Ha! Wonderful.
Take reach into my bag and pull out the bones that I have crafted into a bracer.
Okay.
Like tusks, and tie it around my left forearm.
All right.
You notice Rouse putting on, like, she's fully dressed, and then she's putting on basically all of the leggings that she owns. And most of her tops. So she's bundled up, but she's bundled up in a way that she still could like move around.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't need anybody to take her clothes. She's wearing them all.
All right. You're not,
but her heavy coat and stuff can go.
you're not the guy with all the with all the polo shirts and like the billion pop.
Could I
Yeah,
be
not
wearing
that
more
deep.
clothes?
It's just like, a lot of layers,
All
but
right.
not too like flowy layers.
Cricket walks with you guys to the mountain pass or the road to the at the base of the mountain, and basically you guys are sandwiched in between two soaring mountains. It's like the only place in this mountain range where there was basically a valley clear enough for them to build anything. And you see that there's a small frozen over lake here as you like ascend higher. That way you're overlooking the camp itself. As you're heading up. He says, all right, good luck to you. I will be on the cart to Delver's Gate once we get the message, and I'll bring your payment along.
All right, everybody, make sure that you stretch out. You don't want to pull a hammy as we're going up this rock face. Everybody ready?
What are your specialties? Mine is obvious, and she points to her bow.
Oh, close combat. I use fists and feet, face, headbutts, knees, elbows,
Acceptable. What about you, Shuni? Belgrip?
Oh, I'm an inventor of sorts.
And he pulls the device off of his hip, and his hand slides like kind of underneath it, but behind it, and his grip, and it's like a tube, and it's got all these little cogs and vials and stuff on it. And he goes,
My professor was a big fan of don't go around your elbow to get to your ass. Fire's the best form of combustion, blah, 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 blah. But I've invented this thing, and it shoots It shoots like a bullet, but it uses cold, and it compresses the gears on the inside of it to makes this oil, instead of expanding, it pulls in real fast. It pulls the springs back into the tube and then launches the ammunition. It pulls out just kind of like a rock, the ammunition really fast.
Looks like it could explode. Stay close, but not too close.
It can indeed explode.
Not too close.
You're a fascinating individual, friend. And I'm guessing, Wargrim, your specialty is also
Song and dance?
close combat.
Killing, killing and healing.
Oh, healing too. Excellent. That's handy.
Oh yeah, I'm proficient as a field medicine, as a field medic as well.
Bonza, we got us a real team here. All right. I'll lead the way. And Brallo just starts trucking it up the mountain.
I like the initiative.
Parents, do we do a search? Is this what'd you call this, Toker?
Exploration mode.
Exploration mode, and you can do a search check, I guess, or do it in like survival or perception.
Hold on, I gotta bring it up real quick.
Yeah, see, this has an action that Foundry doesn't have, the scout action.
The exploration action.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that there's actions in Path Builder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically you just declare what your action is, and it gives you a certain bonus based on like what's going on, right? Let's see.
Like if we're going to be moving at half speed because somebody's scouting, or you could do you could be repairing items while in between combats while still on the move, searching, walking defensively, trying to avoid notice.
I want to use my survival check to make sure the way is clear and look for tracks of any creatures and stuff.
All right. As you guys head out, do you have any light sources? Or are all of you able to see in the dim morning light pretty well?
See fine.
I can see fine in the dim.
Perfectly fine.
All right.
Well, low light vision.
Yeah.
And I will be scouting so that if there is an encounter, every creature in my party will gain a +1 to their initiative roll due to me moving at half speed forward and back and scouting around.
All right. Let's see. Moving at half speed. Yes. It's going to take you guys moving at, I'd say, half speed. Probably, let's see. Like, provided you wouldn't have any interruptions, and it was on a, if it was a flat plane, this even at half speed, it would only take you guys 2 hours to do the 4 miles. But since you're on an upward incline and you don't know what you're up against, you're guessing that it's gonna be at least till noon by the time you guys arrive at the top, just from your caution and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine as long as we're there before nighttime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
The road is long, and you guys are looking at it carefully. The first thing you come across is a rock fall, not a big one, but enough to disrupt traffic up the road. You can make note of it, or you can attempt to clear it now.
How difficult does it seem to clear?
Probably
time would it add?
about 20 minutes of work would probably do it.
No, let's just clear it.
All right.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. So you stop and you clear the rock fall.
Clear it in such a way that it's obvious that there was a rock fall.
Yeah. I assume you guys are just stacking it close to the mountainside. That way you can tell what happened.
Yeah. So that when they come up, it's like, oh yeah, they did some stuff. They did some work.
Like, I feel like Roush probably has a notepad and is keeping very detailed notes, like, okay, rockfall found here at this time, how much time it took us to clear it.
Okay.
All that stuff.
All right. After
Morello's just enthusiastically lifting rocks over and picking them up over his head and then setting them down. Pick up a rock, lift it over his head, and set it down. Everything is training to him.
All righty.
Nice. No wasted movements.
No wasted movements.
Doing squats on the lift.
Yes, exactly.
Deep lunges every step.
I wish you would stop doing burpees that close to the mountain. So.
Never more alive than when you're close to death.
All right. After you guys clear the rockfall and continue up, day is finally broken. It's there's enough light to see in the normal visual range, though it is still murky as the night still the mountains here really haven't cleared that gray, overcast, wintry sky. But the temperature is rising to almost the 30s Fahrenheit as you move up. The wind whips pretty hard on many occasions, and you are occasionally blinded by flurries of snow getting brushed down the mountainside over you, but nothing that looks like an avalanche. And it looks like as you go through here, there's probably been at least some road clearage over the course of the winter. There just had to be, otherwise you guys would be like tunneling your way up the mountain on this road probably. The next thing you encounter is a wide portion of the road. This is basically near the halfway mark. You see that there is a area for like probably watering and resting your oxen, horses, or whatever as you take this long uphill journey. It's still mostly covered in snow, but you can see the outlines of a stone built like fire pit that probably hasn't had much use in the last few months. But as the wind blows, you can see that there's also strange lumps underneath of the snow itself that, as the wind brushes across them, reveal hairy figures.
Oh no!
Lying down in the on the ground.
That might be a threat. That might be somebody dead. How big do they look?
They look about the size of large dogs.
Rouse will draw her bow and arrow and knock an arrow and be like, "Who's gonna go check?"
I'll do it.
Yeah, he'll do it.
I draw my gun.
Not it, says Veal.
And I will assume wolf stance.
All right.
So I get real low to the ground, and I approach.
I ready my shield.
With I pull a dart out. No, I don't pull a dart out. I just approach.
All right.
Oi!
You oi as you get close. Here in the cold, crisp air, you can smell the smell of it smells like spoiled food, but frozen as you get close.
Well, they might be dead.
As you get a little closer, you can see that it is indeed two dead animals. Maybe large dogs, but they have the fur and fur patterns and size basically of being probably wolves.
They are the namesake of my style. So I guess I've studied them for a long time. I'm aware of what wolves would look like and how they act.
But underneath the snow, you can see that they are the shape is broken in some ways. Like it's like not all of them are there,
and they're definitely not breathing and not alive. So
no, these are definitely dead things, dead frozen things.
Make a note that we've removed the dead wolves from the way station, and I'll grab two of them. One in each hand, and I go to throw them off the mountain.
All right, you grab the frozen wolves, and when you pull them up out of the snow, you can see they're frozen, enormous gouges and gashes within their bodies. Like one leg seems to have been gnawed off. One has a missing face. And they they of course pick up like any frozen animal, like just one big piece. Yeah.
Mutilated wolf carcasses.
But when you do pick them up, you hear the sound of something over your shoulder as an explosion of snow erupts from the mountainside on the other side of the on the far side of the resting area. And 4 enormous rats, nearly the size of these things, come out and charge at you guys. So let's Let's go to the map. Let me do a little.
Let's take a quick commercial break and go to the map.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I just rolled initiative, and it was
Doesn't count. That doesn't commercial yet. Commercial pays for initiative
it was
rolls.
27.
And we're back.
All right. So these rats, they explode out of the accumulated snow against the mountainside. They're big, like dog size, but lean and feral looking. Your disturbing of the frozen meat caught their whiskers, and they are hungry. Let's roll initiative. You guys still get the +1 bonus from the
Scouting ability.
scouting. Yes.
Oh, yes, I was doing that.
So don't forget that. Belgrup,
15.
15. Borello,
8.
Wargrim,
14 plus 2, right?
Plus,
Was it?
plus 1 from his ability.
Okay, plus 1, did 15.
okay, also 15. Rouse,
Assuming you're not making me roll again.
I hadn't mentioned it.
28.
When?
Huh?
What?
28.
Okay.
She rolled really well before we were going to take a break, and I guess you're letting it slide.
It's in the recording. She said it.
Yeah, our sponsors aren't going to be
Yeah.
happy.
Our
It was
sponsors.
27, but I forgot to add that +1.
All right. Anyway, so Rouse, you are quickest on the draw here. You see these enormous rats bursting out, and looks like they're heading straight for Borello.
Rouse already has her bow in hand. I'm gonna say, yeah. So the one that's closest to Borello, she's going to use the hunt prey action before she attacks.
Okay.
Shoot.
What does the hunt prey action do?
The hunt prey action is it's a ranger feat. You designate a single creature as your prey and focus your attacks against that creature. You may be able to see or hear the prey. You must be able to see or hear the prey, or you be tracking the prey during exploration mode. So it gives me a +2 circumstance bonus to perception checks, and it also you ignore the penalty for making ranged attack with your second range increment against the prey I'm hunting. So that's pretty cool to know.
Yeah.
Only one creature at a time. But I think it also gives me it allows me to use my hunter's edge against them, which is I chose flurry. So when I attack, instead of my multiple attack penalty being -5 and then -10, it's -3 and then -4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
Fire away.
yeah, I'm gonna do that. Fire away. Ah, there it is. All right, so the first one is a 21 to hit.
That will hit.
And that is 5 damage.
All right. 5 damage. Whoop. Still up. Sorry.
All right, so for my second attack, I'm actually going to use the flurry.
Okay.
I feel like I have to hit something else to do that, though. Oh,
You
no,
have to-
there it is. I miss with a 9,
Well,
Yeah. All right.
and I probably miss again with a 13.
Yes.
All right, and then for my third action, I
that
am
would
going
be
to...
that would be it, wouldn't it? You hunt prey,
No.
you shot, then you flurried.
Oh,
Yep.
you're right. That's it.
Yep. Hunt prey is an action.
Hunt prey is an action. Damn.
Hunt, pray, love. Those are the 3 actions. Anyway, so that would be Rouse. Who's got the better initiative out of our 215s, Wargrim and Belgrip?
Mine +7.
Well,
He does.
Okay, go ahead, Wargrim.
We use 2 actions and cast a needle dart.
All right.
I had the same one that
Rouse.
Ross attacked.
Alrighty.
I'm sorry, you cast what? Needle dart?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. some reason I thought you said eternal dark, and I was like, oh.
I thought he said needle dark. Like, oh no, darkness that's sharp.
21 to hit.
21, yes, that'll hit.
All right. Did 9 points damage.
All right, your mystical needle flies through the air, piercing the rat, killing it before it dissipates. I don't know how the spell described, but I'm just making shit up.
It's just a pretty much you can say there's 3 darts.
Okay. All right.
I've got one more action.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So the last action I will use to grab my weapon again, with both hands.
Okay. Belgrip.
Which rat died?
Oh, I'm getting him. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Gone.
My weapon's drawn. I reach over and I start flipping little cogs and wheels, and the little vials start spinning rapidly as I attempt to overdrive my invention.
Okay.
And a 19 on the dice probably gives me a critical success, which means my gizmos go into a state of incredible efficiency called critical overdrive, adding great power to your attacks. Your strikes deal additional damage equal to your intelligence modifier for 1 minute.
Nice.
After the overdrive ends, your gizmos become unstable as they cool down for a reset. You can't use overdrive again for 1 minute.
Okay.
But if I hit, I get to add my +4 from intelligence.
Oh, all right.
Now I just need to hit. So I pointed at the next closest terrifying rat that's probably the same size as me. And taste cold, fucker. And I rolled a 19 again.
All right.
Nice.
What did that get you on the attack?
That gives me a total of 20. Why can't I do simple math in my head? 25.
Now that is a critical.
Ooh. Fuck yeah.
Does it do critical damage? Does your weapon have a specific critical effect?
I'm not to the level where I get to use that yet.
Nice.
Okay.
But no, so it just does. For this, it will be a bludgeoning shot,
Okay.
and it'll be 8 damage before I roll for my intelligence modifier because that's doubled, +7 and 1, so 16 damage total from the shot.
Yeah, you see him fire off his weird weapon with all his humming, clicking, and buzzing, and when he fires it off, the rat is obliterated. It explodes into red jelly against the snow.
Nice. So, then for my third action, I will reload my device.
Okay. The rats go. All right, the rat runs up to the nearest person here and the nearest person here, and then they do attacks. I'll do Frakes first.
He said at the duty party.
Does 13 get you, Frakes?
It does not.
2 misses on that one. 4th rim. Oh my god. All right, so I don't. Yeah, 9 doesn't get you, but it's 21 get you.
Yes, it does.
All right, you take a bite from the rat. He chomps into you, doing 5 damage, and I need a fortitude save.
Oh.
All right. That is 18.
All righty.
So 11 plus 7.
Okay, cool. Let's see. And that is now it's your go, Barella.
All right, he ran up to me, so my first action is going to be to
Hit him with a frozen wolf.
I thought about that, but I'm going to do more damage with my hands, I'm pretty sure. What damage do I think these frozen wolves would do?
I'd say D6. I mean, they're pretty sizable creatures.
It's an improvised weapon. You need to be specialized in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do my flurry with it either.
Would you say these frozen wolves are monk weapons?
Are they monk weapons?
Yes, they are monk weapons.
No, so I will drop the wolves as a free action. Then I will fall into my wolf stance. And,
as a wolf action.
As my first action is wolf stance. Second action will be a flurry of blows.
Alrighty. Go to it.
24 for my first hit, my first fist.
Hit, not a crit.
And an 11 for my second.
Miss.
All right, so then that is just going to be 7 damage from my first hit.
All right. Dance 7 damage. Okay.
And then I will, for my third action, I will do a special unarmed wolf jaw attack, which is just a special attack that I can do with my hands.
All righty.
14?
Unfortunately, that's a miss.
Okay, thought so, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, because 24 would have been a crit if that was. Let's see. We're back to the top of the round, which is Rouse. Rouse.
Hey. Rouse seeing Belgrip use that weird machine, and she remembers, oh yeah, she told him to stay close but not too close, so she's gonna take a few steps.
That's over the cliff.
Off the cliff.
Oh, that's off the cliff?
Yeah.
I really don't like that dog.
Oh, okay. I see. I was just ignoring those.
The lines he drew for
Yeah.
the map.
The hard work that he did to draw that map.
Yeah. Looks like a loose nipple that we're standing on.
I don't know what those scribbles are, so I'm just gonna.
That is a road with the flat area for camping. Yeah.
That's funny. What is this? This is his bag or something?
That is Mr. Veal.
Oh, that's Mr. Okay, dude. So I'm step back by Veal and hunt prey on the one in front of Wargrim. And I'm gonna flurry at him.
Alrighty.
$26.
Hits. Critical, actually.
Critical damage is 21.
21 damage? Oh, yeah. No, yeah. One arrow puts him out.
Because the bow has the deadly D10. I believe.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So, he did. And then I'm going to, I don't know, can I do the flurry at the second target?
Oh, because you have to pray to flurry to begin with, right?
Yeah. I don't
Probably
think I
not.
can.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the end of my turn.
Alrighty.
Move, hunt, prey, murder a rat.
Okay. We're at Wargrim. Wargrim, you just got bit by this rat, but who's dead. So, what you doing?
Moving and attacking.
Alrighty.
So that was one action. Second action is to swing my sword. So roll a 17, 23.
That hits.
And damage is 14 points of damage. So I rolled 11.
All right, you neatly nick the head off this guy. He's dead. The huge gross rats are all deceased. You
I like the tails. I'll go around nipping the tails off with one of my dots.
all righty. You see that there is a hole in the side of the mountain where they emerged from, and it looks to be like a dugout that was carved there specifically for people to camp in, but has been mostly abandoned all winter, obviously. Are you throwing the wolf things over the side, or are you going to try and con your way into getting extra reward for their ears?
I'm not a dishonest person.
No.
We didn't kill the wolves, so
We didn't kill the rats, though.
yeah, that's why I cut the tails off.
I mean, we're going to dispose of the wolves, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna toss the wolves
not
right
gonna
off this
try to-
cliff.
We're not going to try to claim that we killed them.
Oh, okay.
That's why I cut these tails off so that we can say, we did our job.
Just so we can have evidence that there were wolves that we had to dispose of. Not that we necessarily had to kill the wolves, but just, so that they were there.
That might not be a bad idea, actually.
I mean, that's valid. Yeah.
I mean,
might-
it's a health.
you
it's
might
a health
show-
risk, says Veal.
You might show the guy rat tails and he'd be like, oh, that's not really worth a whole lot. But you show it, if he doesn't want to give us money for the rat tails, we'd be like, oh, we killed these 4 wolves too. Just,
But we didn't kill the wolves. The wolves
it's
are
only if
dead.
he's trying to, shit us, that we use it to just put a little weight on our side.
Reactive dishonesty.
Rouse is going to be like, my notes are accurate. Thank you. My notes are accurate. My
Hmm.
integrity is paramount.
Is rat good eating? Has anybody ever eaten rat?
Does anybody want to make a medicine check for me as you're looking at these dead
I can do it.
All right.
18, 11 plus 7.
You look over these rats' bodies and you see that not only are they slightly malnourished, but also they have the telltale sores that they are plague carriers.
Oh.
So probably not super good to eat.
Well, Wargrim, if they're carrying plague, should we burn them? Or is tossing them off the side of the mountain good enough?
Well, I mean, if you toss
Actually-
them on the side of the mountain, they're just going to end up on another part of the road.
Yeah, I would just go ahead and burn them in the fire pit, and that way the skulls would be left. Because if we don't burn them, then someone else might come and eat them and transfer. Yeah.
That's a valid point. All right, let's dispose of these bodies.
All right. You guys take a little while to try and get the wolf and rat bodies burned up. There's not much in the way of kindling, but you do see like out here, but you do see there's some like old cots that look like the rats have been gnawing on all winter that still have some viable wood in there.
As long as it's hot enough to burn the plague out, then that's good enough for me.
All right.
I'm doing a treat wounds on myself,
All righty.
and I'm just doing the 15 one. I think.
Okay.
Let me double check. How much does that heal?
Was it D8? No, I'm
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, that'll work. So it's 2d8 if it's a success.
okay.
I rolled a 19 plus 7, so 26.
Yeah, you're good, I think.
2d8.
You guys heal way more wounds than I do.
Well, this is my first time.
If you roll a 26, that's a critical success.
Oh,
Yeah.
That means the target regains 48 hit points and loses the wounded condition.
All right.
okay.
You treat your wounds and you feel better than ever. After you guys finish lighting up the dead rats, are you continuing on?
You mentioned the dugout thing. There's not a burrow in there, is there?
Is that our what?
A burrow, a rat nest.
There is some large nested, but it's like a stone burrow. It's not like a dirt burrow. It is basically a carved portion of the mountain where people could camp for the night if necessary. But like I said, it hasn't been used in months. The amenities put in there for campers are destroyed for the most part. You guys pulled some wood out, the use of the fire, but you do see that there's a lot of garbage in there, like the rats have taken any like shreds of cloth or things and created a large, horrible nest for them to lay in. And in it, you find the remains of some rattling children or not rattlings, but like little baby rats that probably were born and then either froze to death or were malnourished given their spot on the mountain.
Throw them all into the bonfire.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You also see like you hear the telltale clatter of coin amongst some of the junk.
Search it.
All right.
Mhm.
Shake it out.
All right. You find a very hard, like hardened leather purse. That's not just from the cold, but it looks like it's over lacquered, and the rats chose not to eat it. And inside you find 5 silver pieces, and you look that look normal for the king around it. And you also find a sort of a bronze piece that has a strange symbol on it.
Can we figure out what skill would it take? Or what is it? Arcane? What kind of skills to figure out what kind of maybe
Kind
get
of
more
bronze
information?
I'd say society for local knowledge or history.
I could do a society check.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think history is a check anymore.
Oh,
Society is basically history now.
okay. So or a lore for the dungeon if anybody bothered to take that.
Does it look like an orc coin?
That would have been smart.
Because I have underworld lore and orc.
I got a
lore.
19.
22 society.
All right. You guys see the bronze coin. It's not really a minted coin that you would find in any merchant shop. It's basically like front and back. One side is the old Brimorian Imperial Seal, a thing they just do not put on the coinage anymore. And on the other side, it looks like there is, it looks like a burst of stars. Like it's very, like a very kind of whimsical kind of image. it it doesn't look like any coinage you've seen, and there's no denomination on it. There's no value listed on the coin. It doesn't say one or anything. It's and
Chuck E. Cheese coins.
yeah, it looks like it looks, if anything, like a poker chip or a token, like from some gaming hall.
But our check doesn't tell us like what it's from, like what it's for.
No,
Any
it just
history?
gives you some details.
Well, it lets you know that the crest is the Brimorian crest.
The Brimorian Imperial crest, which they don't use in it.
It's the Brimorian.
Yeah, Brymor is the name of the country that you're in.
Imperial crest seal.
Yes,
So this is probably like 200 or 300 years old.
possibly. It's pretty shiny brass, but it's in good shape.
Keep it. You never know if it might come in useful.
Beyond that, you find a metal canister that looks like it had been abandoned at some point. That it looks like the rats had like gnawed the wax off the seal of it, but that is the only other treasure item you find.
So you say canister, does that look like a scroll case?
It looks kind of like a scroll case, only bigger. It looks like it was probably at one point wrapped in leather, and sealed with wax, but all of that has been chewed away, leaving only the sealed canister behind.
Pick it up. What does it feel like? Does it shake? Does it still feel like it's got liquid in it, or like real light?
It's fairly light, but there is something in there, like maybe sheafs of paper.
Open it up.
All right. You open it up and you see that there is a intricately folded single sheet of paper, kind of, yeah, inside. All right. And when you unfold the paper, it looks to be a robe made out of like alchemically treated and toughened paper.
So it's
Robe?
A robe. Does anyone have Arcana?
Yeah.
Roll it.
I've got everything.
Yeah, but did you roll a 19 again for a total of 28?
Right. You immediately spot that this is a scroll robe. It's basically a robe that you can wear, and that can be inscribed with a single scroll that you do not have to draw. Basically, the purpose of it is to have a scroll already at ready. The scroll can be like literally just inscribed onto the garment itself, and can be reused after the spell is expended.
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat.
A nifty concept.
I'm going to call it a robe of scribe scroll.
It should be scroll robe. It should be in like the actual magic item.
Oh,
I'm not using anything that's off list just yet. It's
scroll robe.
Not comfortable with homebrewing in a system that you've never played before?
yeah, I am not really.
Not yet.
Not just yet. I'm more likely to homebrew a monster first before I do a magic. But did you find it?
No, I was taking notes, and then I was also wondering like if I could. I was like, oh, what's appraisal in Pathfinder 2? That hasn't come up.
I don't know.
And there's not really appraisal, but it says it should probably be a craft or an appropriate lore skill.
Yeah.
And then some people say maybe it's society, but I feel like we already rolled that one. I was just curious what the bronze thing would be, if it knew it'd be worth anything.
It's under scroll robes. They are since you had such a good check. They are fairly inexpensive. They are 1.5 gold pieces.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was talking about the coin that we found.
Oh, the coin. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I think society fits best on that.
yeah, and don't worry, you'll know what it is eventually. It's just it's very location specific here.
Oh, the scroll robe is actually armor, though.
Yeah, but it's armor with no
their AC bonus.
Yeah,
it's wizard armor.
It counts as unarmored though.
Yeah, it's just something you can put over your armor.
No, I mean like if you're only trained in unarmored, or you like a monk could wear that without being considered wearing armor.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if I had any kind of arcana to cast scrolls from.
Cast the scroll, yeah.
Oh wait, what is? I didn't even think to look that up. What it takes to cast a scroll in this is.
Yeah, I don't think any of us can currently use. Well, Jeff might be able to use it, but he would have to wear it in place of his actual armor, which I doubt
Not
is
gonna
going to
happen. Cold day in hell.
Okay. Well, after you finish looting the area, the daylight propers come up, and you can see there's a little bit of sun peeking through the clouds. Finally, the wind is still brisk, and the weather hasn't, and the temperature hasn't changed all that much as you continue forward. After a good while of trudging up the mountainside road, you come across a person walking down the other way. He is carrying he's bundled up against the cold pretty tightly. He's carrying bags, and as he sees you approach, he stops, but not wanting to get too close, it seems. Oh there.
For the record, to cast a scroll, that scroll has to be on your spell list.
Okay.
So you have to be able to cast spells to cast a scroll. Back to the role playing. Good eye, mate.
Heading towards Delver's Gate?
Not yet.
Does this road go anywhere else?
Only over the side, he says, edging closer to the mountainside, not to not be at the end of the road. Are you adventurers?
Yeah, we were hired to scout the area, clear out any monsters or any
Unsavory people. And I look at him.
Oh, that's great news. Did you find anything? Anything dangerous down there?
I'll hold up my rat tails.
Oh, gruesome. Well, I've been waiting up here, and he looks up toward the mountaintop all winter to have a clear enough path to get down. And today seemed like the day. I didn't actually expect to see anyone here. I was just going to hold up at the inn near the train station. But
You've been up here all winter.
Oh yeah.
I would like to roll my perception against his deception DC.
I think he means like in the town, right?
Yeah,
But he's coming from Delver's Gate, right?
Yeah, he's coming from Delver's Gate down the mountain as you guys are coming up.
Oh, there's a town up there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You've been staying in a town all winter? That sounds like a fucking lie to me.
You're a fucking liar, Mr. Stays in Towns.
Never mind.
He seems wary because he's outnumbered. Yeah, and carrying stuff. Like the man is clearly like maybe a little paranoid that you might be bandits.
Okay, he's thinking the same thing that we're thinking.
Says, well, may I pass?
Absolutely.
He nods and he slowly makes his way down. He keeps his hand on the hilt of his sword and his bags basically firmly away from anybody.
I keep my hands clearly up. Clearly out of any kind of hostile movements.
He smiles tensely. As you get close, you can see that he's just an average-looking man, well built, probably a person that fights for a living. He's got a few scars on his face, and whenever he gets past you, he basically like sidles along to where he's walking backwards, almost until he disappears around the corner.
Cheers, mate. Hey, Dickum.
Good luck, you hear calling back.
What an odd man.
I mean, it makes sense. You encounter 5 people on the road. Most of them look dangerous. I look at Bone Mask Man.
I look back at you.
I would probably assume we were bandits too if I had anything worth stealing.
You hear Veal from the back. If I was carrying that much coin, I would have been paranoid too.
He was carrying a lot of coin.
You couldn't hear it when he went by? 6 cents, I guess.
Merchant's ears.
I know a heavy pocket when I hear one.
Well, with that in daylight, let's get on up this mountain.
He nods. Yes, I could stand a little pay and a little rest. You guys head on further up, and the path is mostly clear now. It looks like the fellow that came this way stepped over any like there's been no like actual rock falls. There's plenty of actual rocks on the road that probably need to be moved just for like general travel sake, but nothing that would actually take any work.
We move them.
Okay.
We're clearing the path.
All right.
They're gonna be
There's
bringing
not
wagons
it's
up
not a
there.
lot to do. It only takes a few minutes to clear the path on the few other falls, rock falls you find.
Hup, ho, hup, hup, ho.
And when you get to the top, it's well after noon. Like the noon hour has drifted by and is now sinking inevitably towards nighttime. And you basically get to the top and see just a pair of poles, a big wooden sign up top, and incongruently enough, here on a tall, remote mountain range, a town. And a fairly like largish town for the space. Like there's a lot of buildings crammed together here at this mountaintop, and including, of course, the one at the very tippy top, a sort of a soaring stone keep that extends the mountaintop itself, maybe 50 feet higher than it would have been. And basically there's a high street, buildings on either side, and you can see that there is parts of the mountain that have been carved away to use for people who've been up here. And most of it's covered in snow. You can't see really into the buildings much except for a few. A few have, looks like, permanent gas street lamps, but they don't, well, not gas, oil lamps outside. None of them are lit. And as you're like looking at the scene ahead of you, you see a person in the distance open a door, pour out some liquid out of a pan, look your way, nod, and then shut the door behind them. What are you doing?
I look at the rest of them and I go, did we not receive a pigeon to send back down?
You did.
We did.
I have it, says Veal. There's a little scroll here too, if you want to. He looks at you, Rouse, send a report.
I will.
All right.
Detailed. It'll be, the scroll will be full front and back.
Okay.
Very detailed report.
Do we need to tie these rat tails to the pigeon? You think you can carry them?
No, I've already stated that we have them, and we will show them.
Check the fire pit.
No, I've got the rat tail. Oh yeah, but to check the fire pit on the way up, you can see the bones of the things that we burned.
Yep.
All in the report.
All right.
I will turn over to our companion that walked up with us.
Yeah.
And hold my hand out.
Well, a deal's a deal, and you folks really covered my ass on this one. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out 4 gold apiece, hands them to you. A little bit of a tip, since there was more danger than I was honestly expecting.
You all see Rouse smile, like it just brightens, her whole face lights up. No one's seen that yet. First time ever.
All right. He smiles. Oh, go ahead.
I said thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, let's see. I am going to head off to the local solicitor's office. That way I can make good on my plans. And then I guess I'll be back here for my goods. Are you folks staying anywhere? I've been up here once before. I can suggest something, if you like.
If you don't mind, that'd be wonderful.
Well, it depends on how much you want to spend, he says as he begins walking toward the town. Well, let's see. I don't suppose any of you are secretly of a noble persuasion, traveling incognito.
Nope.
No.
Despite the dress. No.
That's all right. Dragon Tamer Lodge is probably not where you want to go. If you want to spend a good bit of cash and have a fairly luxurious stay, there's the Hero's Retreat, which is where I stayed last time. It's very nice. Miss Crimp, the owner, marvelous lady. If you're looking for something a little cheaper, there's the Hot and Cot Hostel. I know that my drover stayed there. He said the food was acceptable. And of course, but the rooms are communal. It's more of a hostel. And if you want privacy and not a lot of amenities, the old miners' camp on the mountainside is virtually free as long as you chase out the cobwebs and whatever else moved in over the winter.
So is that like a cabin?
It's several. He laughs. Remember the dugout in the mountain where at the rest stop on the way up? It's mostly things like that, and a few cabins that have been left over, mostly rotted away.
Well, I think I'll go up that way and see if we can stake out a claim.
Well, good
That's
luck.
about my speed as well.
But if you're looking for a good meal, I suggest hitting the Sundered Shield.
Oh, a hot meal would go right nice right now.
He stops in front of a business as you're walking, and points the way from where he is toward the Sundered Shield. And he looks up at the sign and smiles, and you see that there is painted on a pretty large glass window, something you don't see a lot of up here. Probably, just for heat maintenance purposes. Says Gallivant, Butterfield, and Pocket, attorneys.
A lawyer?
Well, none of those people on the sign live up here or do business here. This is just one of their outposts.
Probably packed full of paralegals, huh?
I wouldn't say full. He knocks on the door, and you see a sort of a young, nervous-looking halfling open the door and say, "Oh, Mr. Veal, again. It's good to see you so early. I got your letter. Come in," he says. And if you guys don't follow him in, he shuts the door on you.
That feels like kind of an abrupt ending to our half-day's journey.
I mean, he did pay us, so I thought that was the end of the interaction myself.
That's the first part. So we will wait up here so I guess we got they're going to be coming up.
Yeah.
So we can go look at the miners' camp, see if we can stake out a cool area there, and stake one out there, and then come back here when they get there.
All right. Well, you two have said that. How about the other two? Are you guys gonna pony up for something a little more pricey than?
No, the miners' camp sounds sufficient.
Before I got the 4 gold, I had 2 silver and 9 copper. So I think I'm cool with
Taking a look and see it at least.
Plus, the cold doesn't bother me. So I'm not super worried about that. But what was the Shattered Shield?
Yeah, the Sundered Shield is
Sundered Shield.
Yeah, it's the local. It sounds like the local tavern.
The hot meal and the drink sounded nice, but let's go find us a place to sleep before all those other people show up.
Yep.
All right. As you head down through the town, you pass directly past the Sundered Shield, which is fairly basically the most lively building in town. Most of the snow that is gone from the streets is gone from here, with lots and lots of muddy tread prints on the street. And there's you hear the sounds of music as you pass by. There's light in the windows. A man comes out, stumbles, decides to pee around a corner. Irregardless of whether you see him or not. As you head past, you can see the situation of the old miners' camp going down the mountainside only slightly, the hillsides at the mountaintop. At first, it looks like a field of old ruins, and in some ways it is. There are a few like stone huts, but it looks like their roofs have mostly caved in, and you see that there are holes in the side of the mountains where rough, thick hides are weather-worn and flapping in the winds. There's only one actually kind of cozy-looking cottage here, and you see that there is an orc outside chopping some firewood.
Make my way over.
Yep, I'll go too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, mate. Good day.
He nods and looks at you and stops what he's doing. He takes his gloves off and cracks his knuckles and puts them back on. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Just wondering what the standard tradition is around here for claiming the camp.
Oh, that's a bit early for you folks.
We came up and cleared the way for those coming behind us.
Oh, right, the telegraph thing. Yeah, I remember. Well, there's no real tradition other than finding a place you think's acceptable and staking it out and making it as defensible as you can. Most of these things don't have doors, and the ones that do have doors don't have roofs. So,
Defensible. You got a lot of hostility up this way.
Oh no. When the when the keep was constructed 500 years ago, the workers who worked in the dungeon lived out here for the most part. And whenever it was done, they left this. People dress it up from time to time, but we don't really have the population to maintain it year round. It goes to shit until someone comes and unshits it. Now, I only maintain my own hovel here.
How big are the holes in the cave? The cave walls.
Some small, some large. You could find something to accommodate your group, I'm sure.
That's like home to me.
He nods and extends a hand. Lurt.
Barallo. Nice to meet you, Lurt.
Room.
Wonderful. Good to meet you.
Lurt?
Lurt Cliff Dweller.
Ooh.
It's a name and an occupation. And he grunts, which you think might be a laugh, but you're not sure.
How much would it cost to pry some of that firewood that you've been splitting away from you?
I'm afraid it's not for sale, but I do sell a bucket of coal or two.
Well, be warm enough for a night.
It's like most of the dugouts have a fire pit with a little bit of ventilation, though you might have to dig that out too if it is clogged.
Count out the best caves.
All right. You guys head out. He tells you it's 2 copper per bucket for the coal.
I'll buy a silver's worth.
All right. You guys are taking 5 buckets with you as you begin scouting of the.
We'll come back for that.
Okay.
I'll just run them through. I'll find a long stick and run the buckets through there and tote them up.
As you begin scouting the camp, go ahead and give me a perception check for your search. Or is that a search check? Shit, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perception is search.
14 plus 7, 21.
All right. You look over a lot of the what are you guys looking for, a dugout cave dwelling, or are you going to try and like shore up one of the stone buildings?
Well, I'm thinking the cave dwelling is the better bet because it's already got walls and stuff. You don't have to worry about the walls, and it gives you an overhang.
That's my.
We can build a door if we need to.
All right.
I'm actually pretty handy with that kind of thing.
Okay. Then you scout the dugouts and you find one that is fairly sizable, and the only thing you really have to do is run out a family of foxes.
Okay.
Roll initiative.
Go on now, Shoo. Get on.
All right. You run out the foxes, clean out the scat and various other things, and you have a pretty dry, not very warm, except a place to stay.
5 buckets of coal.
And 5 buckets of coal, a place to burn it.
Rouse, are you joining us here, or you want one of the more fancy accommodations as befitting your station? Right then.
Going around the area, can we search this? Can we search to see if there's anything left over that we can use to cozy up place?
Wait, what did she say?
Yeah, I didn't hear her either. What did you say, Mahogany?
She already said earlier that it sounded fine to be down here.
Oh, yeah.
This guy keeps making me repeat myself.
Wow. That's what you said.
All right. So you look around for cosifying objects, and you don't really find anything other than like bits of straw and grass that the foxes were laying on. It looks like the people that stayed here last time anyone stayed here either left and took everything or burned everything before they left for warmth. It's basically just a big flat room.
That's fine. I got bedrolls and stuff like that. So
I got a bedroll too. Maybe we can chase down those foxes and use them as pillows.
Yeah, I was gonna say find some long flat stones, bring them inside to make little levels,
Okay.
little low seats. Maybe
Oh, I
stack a
see.
couple on top of each other. Make a
All right.
table.
Okay, so yeah, you makeshift some very rude furnishings,
Mhm.
and you guys are basically left there with like just a rotting hide flap for a door. You guys have any plans about that?
I'll look through the other flaps, see if there's any better ones.
Okay, you go flap grabbing and find one that's fairly new,
Well,
long enough to be sealed with a rock at the bottom.
That'll work.
I was going to say, Belgrip said he was pretty handy with that stuff.
Not flap shopping. I could build a door, but flap shopping. I'm going to get something to eat.
Well, I figure we would too.
Okay, well, as
Pretty
you guys head
handy at flap shopping.
But you wanted to build a door. My bad. Shit. I'm making mahogany repeat herself, and I'm
all right.
I'm an orc.
When you guys get back to the top of the hill, after staking your claim, the Shattered Shield is once again mostly silent outside, except for the sounds of somebody playing a lute or something inside. And when you open the door, you can see that it's busy. A lot of the townsfolk that live here in Delver's Gate are gathered here for either finishing a late lunch or having an early supper. And when you walk in, you get the traditional everything going silent for a second before somebody nudging the lute player until he starts playing again. And then finally, a dwarf behind the bar bursts out and says, "Welcome to the Sundered Shield."
Good eye.
And he invites you in and provides you with doesn't provide you with a menu, points you toward a chalked menu on the board, on the walls. But the inn is decorated in a very unique style. It is every last inch of the wall is covered in broken shields. It's like it's like a shenanigans for people that had a bad combat.
Oh.
You see
You're like,
how
oh, that's nifty. And then you think, all these shields had to be broken. Oh.
There's a lot of blood everywhere. That's gruesome.
we try to polish them up before we put them up. But if you have a mishap or a friend that does in the dungeon later on, I'm assuming you folks are adventurers. The dwarf says, and then after not getting a response, says, we'll buy it for a few coppers if you don't mind moving it, especially if it's got a good story.
I'm more interested in the fried organ meats with the gravy. Looking at the chalkboard and just like, and then I'll have a side of that and that.
Oh wait, I do have a menu. I have my menu from the last campaign.
Oh,
let's see. You see, Mother Hammer Strike's meat pie for sale. Savory bear meat and onion keeps for days. Sausage and stewed bitter greens. 2 wild boar sausages. Miner's cakes and jam, 4 honey sweetened barley cakes with pepperberry jam. The Mad King's full breakfast, 4 spicy mountain goat sausages, 4 strips bacon, 4 eggs, baked beans, fried mushrooms and onions, baked potato topped with grizzly gravy, and crown-shaped toast points with honey butter.
that one.
Making a round of that? Yes. That's
Dinner special, please.
I'll have that stew.
All right.
Also, can I get some of the jams for the table?
I'll bring you a pot over with a few knives.
Okay, gang. We killed us a bunch of rats today. We got us a cave to live in. We got a dungeon to delve. Let's eat. And then I just turn and stare until the food shows up. Like a dog would.
prancing around, waiting.
Just tapping his nails on the table.
The barkeep / owner, a man named Durm Hammerstrike, or a dwarf named Durm Hammerstrike, constantly is gregarious. He entertains his guests. He comes by. He refills any drinks you have, whether it's ale, water, or whatnot. And he's very excited to see you. Or at least seemingly. And after a while, before the food comes out, an older man comes by, sort of a lean, shrewd-looking fellow. Name's Old Tux. Dern's partner here. You folks are here for the keep, right?
Yeah, no, that's the plan.
Fantastic. I love it when they come early. He pulls up a chair and sits on it backwards.
Let me rap at you, kids.
let me rap at you, kids. And says, I like to consider myself a goodwill ambassador to the adventurers here. You hear a bunch of snickers and laughs around him as he says it. And also I do a little bit of bookmaking on the side. Are you folks, I don't recognize you. Have you been here before?
I think you would have recognized me. So
Oh, yes,
obviously not.
Well, old man, it's hard to keep things straight sometimes. What we do here during the adventuring season, as they call it, is that we keep track of the progress of the adventurers that come through, how far they get, the kind of things they get up to, and of course, treasure halls. And the folks around here and the visitors that are interested can make, small wagers against or for the adventurers going in.
Like a Deadpool?
No, well, I mean
blood,
that does happen, like
That's a
some
bit
people
foolish,
will.
isn't it, mate?
Well, we live in a mountaintop town. Literally everything we have here is brought up from the valleys and the far distances and whatnot. So having the coin to get the comforts that you desire living up here, yeah, is a part of my job. I was just wondering if you folks would like to help me, and I will help you. And he gives a sort of oily smile, and you see he's got like 2 gold teeth. I'm looking for an agent to do a little bit of a reconnaissance mission on, let's say the competition.
Isn't the competition just the dungeon?
No. Your competition.
The Delphas?
Yes, some decide not to go down to the valley or anywhere else during the winter and stay over, and that's probably a good plan. The dungeon incongruously closes up shop every winter.
I'll go with whatever these fellas and lady decide, but right now I gotta go see a man about a piss.
All right.
And Morello stands up and he goes take a leak.
All right. The Tux smiles and says, "It's nothing dangerous or sinister, but at the inn across the way," he points to the Hero's Rest, "there are adventurers in, and I need to know who they are. They have been basically holed up there all winter. We're not sure who is going to come and go in first this time of year, and we need to know where they rank. It really helps me with my paperwork. You understand?"
No.
Not really.
It's fine. It's fine. I'd pry myself, but they have proven to be difficult to see.
Like invisible?
You'd almost think so. He leans forward and says, "I don't know where you're staying. Are you staying at the Heroes Retreat?"
I don't believe that's what it's called.
We found a lovely little place just on the side of town.
He says, "Well, I'd like to buy you a couple of nights' rest at the Heroes Retreat so you can do my scouting for me, if that's okay."
Want us to mingle?
Mingle and get names. I need names. I have big lists and I need names to match them. Who's here? Who's gone?
Who was the guy that we saw leaving earlier?
Oh, the mayor.
Oh,
Is that who that was?
You mean the drunk fellow peeing outside?
No, I mean the guy that passed us on the road up here.
Oh, someone passed you on the road?
Yeah, did we get his name?
No.
He was an odd fellow,
Did you get his description?
walking backwards down the mountain. I don't know. He was a strange character.
Hot damn.
I feel like
Well,
Rouse would be able to like describe him physically very well because she was staring as normal.
Okay.
But I can't.
It's all right. I didn't give you much of a description. I said he had scars on his face, but he also had like a pencil thin mustache, like a little black mustache. Carrying he seemed to be carrying, at least according to Barney Veal, lots of money.
Yeah, she'll probably threw that in. Like this guy we were with earlier, Merchant Ears. He said he heard money. I didn't hear money.
Huh. Well, you've helped me already. Yes. But I'm still up for a little bit more snooping, if I can get you over there. If I can get you to agree, obviously.
If you're going to pay for a room for us to just go mingle with some people and give you some names, I don't see the harm in it, but
Rooms and throw in a little spending money.
Well, I'll put it on the tab. How about that?
Acceptable.
Oh, good.
Borello comes back in. It's cold as tits out there.
We do have like an indoor lavatory.
I didn't even think about that, mate.
It's fine. They're new.
Sorry for my rudeness.
No, it's all right. It's all right. The street gets plenty of action still. Well then, yes. If you stay at the Heroes Retreat for me for a couple of days, I'll prepare everything, of course. And of course, your meals are on the house. You hear a huff from the back. You're just looking around, seeing what you can find and who you can find, and we'll pick up there later. As we come back for episode 2 of that time I raided the Unconquerable Mega Dungeon. Shit, I forgot the name of the title of the show.
Is there we're not gonna role play the food that shows up?
No.
Oh, the poor shoot. He's going to go starving until next week.
you guys just don't understand how rough it's been on me today. I just need a sausage to make it all better.
Precious.
All right, so yes. This time we're starting a thing with this campaign very similar to our
The Mutants and Masterminds.
Yeah, our Mutants and Masterminds game, but instead of a cover, well, let's do a screenshot. Does anybody have a screenshot they'd like to highlight?
Everybody congregating in the first room, and Rouse just staring creepily in the corner.
Anybody else?
If this were a comic book cover, if we were going with that route, it would be when all 4 of the rats exploded out of the snow. Wow, Borello's holding 2 wolf carcasses.
Okay.
And everyone else is looking on. Like,
Yeah, I could see Rouse with like her bow drawn and like Wargrim mid spellcast, and me with the turning something on the gun to activate it like a pre-combat action shot.
yeah, and Borello's got his back to the rats, and he's just holding up the wolves.
All right, I like those. Anybody? Last go around. Anybody?
The back cover is just us all depressingly trying to doctor up the fucking dugout with rock furniture and
Rock furniture. We're Flintstones the shit out of this.
ratty tarps.
All right, and I'll add one myself. A post-credit screenshot. Belgrup literally trying to stuff more sausages in his mouth than he could possibly fit.
Hey, conclusion.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.
Night.
Bye.
Times.
Good night.